All right, so check this out, you guys. Diddy prosecutors abandoned multiple allegations against the rapper days before the trial ends. So, in case you guys haven't heard, both sides, prosecution and defense, have rested their cases. We are now in the hands of the jury. And the prosecution's like, hey, we're just going to take these ones off because, I don't know.
Because they're not going to stick?
Yeah, they're probably not going to stick. And then also what we're looking for is blah, 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 blah. Diddy's team called no witnesses, okay? Diddy's defense is, well, that was an awesome prosecution. You proved nothing. Goodbye.
So weird.
So what's really crazy, too, is what we're going to talk about in this article also is the analysis that these guys are doing. Like, did federal prosecutors prove the Diddy claims? And I read just enough of this to know there's basically the entire trial comes down to one thing, and it's something that we actually know a lot about. So we're going to discuss that together. Okay. Now, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. I appreciate you guys very much. Oh my gosh. And by the way, this other story right here that I had not even brought up in the other, matter of fact, I think we were going to just start with this because this is a good reminder. Okay. The vice mayor of Cudahy, California, is under FBI investigation after allegedly posting a video where she urged the 18th Street and Florencia 13 gangs to defend their territory against ICE agents. Oh my gosh. Do you know what gangs those are?
Yeah, I do, actually.
You've heard of 18th Street?
Yeah.
That's the arch rivals of MS-13. Mm-hmm. And Florencia 13 is like a feeder system directly into the Mexican mafia. Like, these are super, super serious, hardcore Southern California gangs.
Not good, ma'am.
And matter of fact, I need to send this to Dubs because there has never been a topic more right up his alley in human history.
Dude, this is how you incite like civil war. Like, that's so.
Dude, what she said?
Scary.
She said, "Hey, Florencia and 18th Street, isn't your whole thing about defending territory? How are you letting these ICE agents do whatever? You're all."
Oh my God.
Hey, she's an elected official, the vice mayor. So people have lost their mind, dude.
Completely.
People have lost their mind. Okay. All right. Now, speaking of people who have definitely not lost their minds, let's look at P. Diddy, who is the core example of stability in the United States.
Yeah.
If only he was president, then everything would be fine.
Oh boy.
All right, let's listen to this guy.
Both parties have done a really good job and have done what they sought to accomplish. The prosecution has put in all the evidence. It wasn't excluded. The defense, though, has done a nice job in the cross-examinations. They've brought in a lot of additional communications between Diddy and these other women to show that the relationship is a lot more complex. I mean, one of the things I think the prosecution is going to have to do at the closing argument is to basically say, look, this is not like a trafficking case that you would see on television. It's not, you don't have a situation of someone being kidnapped and
like this isn't like a trafficking case that's like a trafficking case.
Like what the law was written.
Yeah.
For.
Hey, there's it's important that they point out, this isn't like a normal trafficking case. This is like not trafficking at all. This is like not at all actually trafficking. This is a gold digger who had a volatile relationship with a dude who is a domestic violence woman abuser, and so we're going to try to paint this as this random thing that it's definitely 100% not.
Chained on a basement radiator. In essence, it's a golden cage. It's one with luxury and glamour, but it's still a cage.
Oh, is it? Hang on, it's a cage that she broke up with him and left like 5, 6, 7, 8 times from. Like, this whole idea is so dumb. Okay, if I was in that jury, I'd be like, okay, so it's a cage, except that she can, for some reason, she's able to leave whenever she wants, cheat on him all the time. Like, I'm not saying that he's a good dude. He beats up women, but there's no cage here, okay? If there was, how come she was able to leave Diddy for her current husband, who was a trainer that Diddy hired to train her?
You're not wrong. Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, so this says, Gabrielle, why don't you read this thing?
Sean Diddy Combs' prosecutors indicated they are not pursuing... Can you please make it bigger? Thank you.
Sorry.
Not pursuing several allegations against the rapper that pertain to racketeering charge just days before closing arguments are set to begin. The government indicated in a letter to the judge filed Tuesday and obtained by Fox News Digital that the theories of attempted kidnapping, attempted arson, and aiding and abetting sex trafficking would not be prosecuted.
Would be pursued. Okay, so that means that everything related to the Kid Cudi thing, which was, supposedly that the car got burned, okay, they are themselves acknowledging. They're like, yeah, we didn't prove that. Like, we just brought that in. And it's like for some...
Just for show.
For some other reason,
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
The government understands the court's desire for streamlined instructions. With that in mind, the government has suggested ways to streamline those instructions. What?
Okay.
Specifically, the government has removed instructions from the charge relating to attempted... Where'd it go?
Wait. Oh, sorry.
Attempted kidnapping under both California and New York law, attempted arson under California law, and aiding and abetting trafficking. The government is no longer planning to proceed on these theories of liability, so instructions are no longer necessary.
Okay.
It's the weirdest way I've ever heard anything articulated.
Yeah. Why don't you just say, like, we didn't prove it at all?
Yeah. The prosecution's move comes as the government works. Didn't we just read this?
No, we're simplifying
so
charges
redundant.
against Diddy. Yeah, I know. Here, just go here. There are no charges being dropped. Oh, really? Okay.
The West Coast Trial Lawyers co-founder said the prosecution's legal theories are essentially the same. The government is no longer pursuing the attempted... Okay, we've already read all this. But they can still argue that the completed...
Wait, hang on. This is important. They're no longer pursuing the attempted kidnapping and attempted arson as predicate acts for racketeering.
Yeah, we already said they're not pursuing the racketeering charges.
But they can still argue that the completed kidnapping of Cassie and Clark and completed arson of Kid Cudi's vehicle are RICO acts. What?
This makes no sense.
That, and the same applies to the sex trafficking counts. The government is arguing that Combs sex trafficked the victims, not that he aided and abetted others to do so. They're simplifying the charges for the jury. This doesn't really change anything. Okay, so basically what they're saying is they're like, don't think too hard about any of these individual crimes, Just think more like, hey, it's RICO, and like he maybe kind of did this stuff, so let's convict him of RICO.
Yeah.
Okay, government ticked off all the boxes in Diddy case. Expert says this case is absolute, complete, and total fucking bullshit. Let me just say that now. Both sides have settled. I have paid very close attention to this case. Okay, and one of the things that I saw in like on a separate article that I read was like the entire case hinges on Cassie Ventura's testimony. I'm like, this whole entire case is based on Diddy and Cassie Ventura's relationship. Like he's potentially going to prison for life based on behavior that he had with Cassie, which was repeated by multiple other girls who openly said that they, like, one of them signed a contract to do this. So clearly the action itself is not trafficking. Okay. Cassie literally stayed with him for a decade when she clearly could have broken up with him at any point. They had her testify, like she had a friend testify that when she said to Cassie, like, I think you guys aren't very good together. Cassie said, well, if I break up with Diddy, who am I going to date? Jay-Z's taken. Like, are you fucking kidding me? This is bullshit. Okay. This case is bullshit.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean Diddy's a good guy, but like, and I always get these comments whenever I've been saying this very consistently the last couple of weeks, and I always get people in the comments, women primarily, that are like, you don't understand that type of control. And I'm like, I'm not saying that women do not get kind of trapped mentally into abusive relationships. What I'm saying is that's not criminal, like in the way that they are putting it out. Okay. Like there are a million things that you could do that are incredibly unhealthy and disgusting. And if he did those to my daughter, and then they're like, well, what if he did it to your daughters? I'm like, yeah, I would definitely,
wouldn't be alive.
I wouldn't like that at all. What we're talking about is but if he did that to my daughters, would that be trafficking?
In the
and
court
the answer
of law
is no.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
not at all. These girls had the ability to leave. Like trafficking, okay, is when these girls are so terrified to do, like they're like, you could say, oh yeah, she was scared to leave because of blah, blah, blah. It's not the same.
They can't leave.
They can't leave.
They're kidnapped.
They will be beaten. They've gotten their passports taken away. They are like, they have no control. They can't cheat on their pimp with their fucking physical trainer.
And go home to see their parents.
Or go to a party and then run away because Diddy got there because they were afraid their boyfriend was going to be mad at them. You know what I mean? It's like, This is not trafficking. And the fact that Cassie is actually pursuing this and trying to put him in prison for life, knowing that this is like, knowing that her, like, I owe this whole time, I assumed there was going to be more, you know, like where it's like, okay, there's got to be more.
Waiting for more the whole time.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, well, now there's
done.
this witness. There's this witness, and this guy is testifying that he used to have a fanny pack and he walked around with drugs and he'd give them to Diddy and he would give them to the girls and whatever. I'm like, okay. Like, so we're still saying the victims in this case are just these gold digging whores that stayed around with him forever who like, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, think about how this was.
It gets brought up in the comments all the time, like all the claims that there were children present and that there was, you know, so like, where's all of that?
Exactly. Okay. Like, here's the thing: is that the government tried this case in the press before they went to trial. Okay, like there are a million civil cases, and if any of those are true, where the fuck are they at, dude? Mm-hmm. Like, where are they at? I heard on one of the documentaries that there is a video of Diddy violently graping this girl with his friend, okay, like at a music studio, and that she went running down the street crying with her clothes torn apart. I went to video that night and I was like, I'll burn this guy alive.
Yeah, where is all of that?
Where is she at? It's on video, supposedly. Where's she at, dude?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if that's true, why is it not here? It doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. This is all a very, very toxic, bad relationship between a toxic girl and a toxic Diddy. Okay, like Cassie, it was a toxic girl also, obviously.
Yeah.
This is insane. Like, it really pisses me off, honestly, because it's like, if all of these other people are real victims, why are you not letting them have their day in court where they can stick it to them?
Yes, agreed. Which
makes me think it's not real. Like, I mean, maybe it is. Maybe if he beats this, they'll bring those cases. I mean, that's totally possible. It's totally possible that they're playing the long game where they're like,
just turn around and slap him with something else afterwards.
Yeah,
maybe, but yeah.
But this case is horseshit. Okay, so this says that given Diddy's defense allegedly planned to invoke the Iran conflict during closing arguments, according to TMZ, and the government seemingly objected to this strategy. Huh? What? Okay, so given that the attorneys who will be giving summations won't be here tomorrow, I wanted to put something on the record that I hope will not be necessary. But my hope is we don't have to object during defense summation. Maureen Comey said, I really don't want to do that. So I just wanted to put that on the record that we think it would be objectionable and crossing a line for any summation to bring up politics or current events or the propriety of this prosecution. Propriety of this prosecution, and the use of government resources. So they're saying, hey, we really don't think it would be cool for you guys to bring up the fact that, Diddy had this issue with, Diageo, and that I personally tried the Ghislaine Maxwell case. And so maybe this is a super fishy fucking case to begin with. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then they tell the press that the reason we brought that up is because we heard that he was going to invoke the Iran conflict. Fucking shit, Maureen Comey. And that's the other thing. That's one of the main reasons I do not trust. Like, I'm looking at this like this is horseshit, is because it's Maureen Comey who tried Ghislaine Maxwell and kept all of the perpetrators of that, which we know were people who were procuring and taking advantage of children, and she kept all of them out of jail. Okay, so it's her. And then she's like, it
makes you wonder where all the kid stuff is.
Correct.
Where is it?
Where is it all at, dude? And then this, I really don't want, we don't want to have to, it's crossing the line to bring up politics or a propriety of the prosecution in using government resources. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, hey guys, but that's because of the Iran thing. Yeah, fucking right. I would hope that Mr. Agnifilo would not cross those lines, but I just wanted to say that if he did, I would object in the middle of this summation and ask the court to instruct the jury to disregard any comments like that. So I just wanted to state that in advance of summations, and the hope is that it's not necessary. It's like, are you sure that that's not necessary? Like, because you have some pretty questionable behavior here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Interesting track record, too.
Exactly. All right, Gabrielle, you take it over right there. Bam.
The prosecution noted this issue has been brought up in one of the government's motions to Lamine.
In Lamine.
Okay. I believe at the time there was an agreement by the defense not to engage in any type of argument. Judge, however you say his name, said, "Mr. Agnafello, anything to worry about here?" Nothing to worry about, Judge. Defense. Okay.
Wait, hold on. Diddy trial jurors face a mountain of evidence to work with as both sides rest their cases. I know. Hey, by the way, one thing we haven't talked about on here is that since we last did this, the jury watched a ton of freak off tapes, by the way. Oh. Which, in my opinion, is almost certainly going to support Diddy's side of this, because I would imagine the girls are going to be
willing participants.
Yeah, dude. Of course. Okay, I don't care who you are. You don't do the same thing as, like, it sounds like they were doing it multiple times a week for 10 fucking years if you hate doing it. Okay, like, that's not a thing.
Yeah.
Unless you're being trafficked, which you weren't.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. Both the prosecution and Combs' defense wrapped up their respective cases Tuesday after 6 weeks of testimony. The defense did not call any witnesses to the stand and instead presented evidence they claim proves inconsistent statements were made during the trial. Combs' defense team immediately moved for a judgment of acquittal before resting their case. Attorney Alexander Shapiro argued the government failed to prove the counts against the rapper.
I agree. There's at best thin proof any other employees participated. There's no evidence that any of them believed he was sex trafficking. Fact. Jury spent the last 6 weeks hearing testimony from Combs' ex-girlfriends, ex-employees, and witnesses involved in the investigation. The prosecution used the testimony to show that Combs allegedly ran a criminal enterprise through his business, including Combs Global. According to testimony, the rapper and his personal assistant set up hotel rooms for freak-offs or hotel nights. The ex-employees who took the stand also testified that he procured drugs for the rapper. Those drugs included MDMA, cocaine, and ecstasy, and then used by Combs and his ex-girlfriends during the allegedly forced sexual sessions involving male escorts. So basically, it's like, if they weren't being forced, then this case doesn't exist. And dude, that's my point. Yeah, fucking right.
Yeah.
They were not being forced. It's not even moderately believable to me that they were being forced to do this stuff, dude. Cassidy, she dated from 2007 to 2018.
11 years.
Yeah. 11 years. His girlfriend, dude. And the rapper's most recent ex-girl both took the stand during the 6 weeks of testimony. Cassie and Jane, testifying under a pseudonym, and Jane is 50 Cent's ex-girlfriend, claimed they were introduced to freak-offs or hotel nights shortly after the beginning of their relationship with Combs. Okay, cool. So for 10 years, that Cassie was doing this. Okay. The defense and the prosecutors are expected to finalize the jury's instructions on Wednesday. Closing arguments in the case against the... So...
Yeah.
I can't believe that I feel this strongly about that. I think Diddy should get acquitted.
Yeah.
But, and I just keep on coming back because I'm not saying he's a good dude, but like, these girls were not victims in this kind of thing. And it's like,
you have to be able to trust in the legal system to do the legal system's job. And this is just a misappropriation of the laws or charges or whatever. Like, it doesn't add up.
It's taking a thing that is certainly like, if you found out that somebody you were hanging out with and their girl liked to go to hotels and hire escorts to come over and have sex with her and then pee on her, you might be all, Jesus, bro.
Yeah.
You guys are fucking crazy. And you know, be like, maybe like, let's
not be friends with them.
You know.
Yeah.
It's one thing if they want to go to a hotel with her, but like, pee on her, Jesus. You know, but it's like that. They are saying it's sex trafficking.
Yeah.
And my whole thing is this. The reason that this feels as kind of like on me now is I am the father of daughters. I can't live in a world where women can make their own decisions and then turn around and go, I was forced into whatever. Like, dude, own your decisions.
Yeah.
You chose to do this. Okay? You love doing freak-offs. You wrote that down, dude. Do you guys think that there's a lot of like these chained up traffic girls that are all, can't wait to do another freak-off? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, dude. I mean, his public life is over anyway. Like, he's gonna, you know, it's not like he's gonna be able to go around and.
He's not gonna release any more hit singles.
Who knows? You know what? Actually, what do you think about that? Like, let's say he gets completely exonerated. If he's out in a club in Miami.
I have no idea.
I think actually people will go up and be all, hey, congratulations, Diddy. Yeah, you know, being a celebrity, it's unbelievable what people let slide.
Yeah. Oh, no, you're right.
You know? But I do.
Kelly, I mean,
ugh.
Yeah, I know.
If I saw R. Kelly, I'd kick him square in the balls.
I'm sure there are a lot of people who would not.
I mean, that guy was kidnapping.
I know. That's
girls.
Kidnapping. Yes,
that's exactly.
Kidnapping.
Taking a girl, like locking her in a room and giving her a bucket to shit in for years. Okay, like, no, they can't escape.
Yes, that's kidnapping.
That's trafficking. Like, can't escape. Oh, it was a golden cage, you know. He had her hair done. Like, dude, one of the examples they gave that was supposedly showing, like, you know, whatever, was they were going to an awards show. He asked them to do Cassie's hair up. And they did it kind of half up. And so he got really pissed and yelled at them. He's all, put her fucking hair up. And so they put her hair up. And then he was like, he's like, Jesus. He's like, look better the other way. Go back and do it the other way. And so they went back and did it the other way. And they acted like this was an example of trafficking.
What?
You're all...
No.
If you're even presenting this, if this has made it, like, of all these incidents, if this made it to the list that you're going to waste the trial's time on, like...
Yeah. You have nothing.
He might be crazy and be an asshole, but, like...
You chose the wrong charges.
And maybe the wrong victims. Sounds like there are a lot of fucking victims out there. I read about a lot of them. Are you telling me that none of them are credible?
All of that was not true? Or, like, is there a reason we're choosing to keep them out of? Like, who knows? Dude,
there's a guy who said that he hit him and had a bunch of guys carry him into a van where he raped him, like, with the dudes holding him down. It's like...
Where are these people?
Thank you. Anyway, so we'll see what happens. But I think he's going to get acquitted. And, well, actually, no, I don't. Actually, I don't. I think he's going to get convicted. And
we'll see. We will see.
All right. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.